Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to teach you three of the most common ways to tie your shoes. Whenever we're tying our shoes, the first thing that we'll always want to do is create a strong starting knot. We can do this by crossing one lace over the other to make an X shape and then wrapping the bottom lace over the top either one or two times before pulling them both tight. After this, we can create our first loop on either the right or left side. With our first loop ready to go, we can then take our other lace and wrap it behind and around to make a small gap before passing it through to create a second loop. From here, we can then take hold of both loops and pull them tightly to create a bow. Once you've done that, congratulations, you've successfully tied your shoelaces for the very first time. Continuing from here, we can take things one step further and tie what's called a double knot. You can do this by crossing your loops in an X shape and then wrapping one loop over the other before bringing it through the opening that's made beneath the cross. From this point, all you want to do is pull both loops out tightly and you'll have made yourself a double knot that looks exactly like this. Additionally, another great trick that I want to share is how easy it is to untie a double knot. To do this, all you need to do is take hold of the free ends of your laces and pull them out. Sometimes you can do this just by pulling on one lace, but since this depends on if you went left over right or right over left with your starting knot, the easiest way to untie it is to just pull on them both. Moving right along, the second knot that I'm going to teach you how to make starts off exactly like the first, where we tie a starting knot and create a small loop. The difference here is that instead of wrapping the free lace around the back of the loop like we did before, this time we're going to wrap it around the front of the loop. The main difference you'll notice with this one compared to the back loop bow is that the free laces tend to hang in different directions. To fix this, we can tie a double knot the same way as we did before by crossing our loops in an X shape, wrapping one over the other, and then pulling our loops tight. This will create a double knot that usually runs parallel with our shoe. To make it look a little bit more presentable, we can just rotate it so the loops run horizontally. The third and final knot that I'm going to teach you today is what most people call bunny ears. We can create what's thought of as the bunny ears for this bow by making a loop on each lace. With these made, all you have to do now is cross one loop over the other and wrap it through the opening that's made from the cross. Once it's passed through, you can just pull both loops out tight until you have yourself a bow. After that, you can tie a double knot exactly like we learned how to do before, which as you'll notice looks a lot like the front loop bow. Finally, you can take the loops and rotate them a little bit so the knot sits side to side. Now that we've learned three of the most common ways to tie our shoes, we can learn how to tie our shoebies. When we walk, run, or jump, our laces whip back and forth, which tugs and flails at the ends. This causes them to come undone eventually, even with a double knot. To keep your shoelaces tied for as long as you want, this is where shoebies are a big help. To put them on, just thread the tips of your laces through the eyelets and slide them up as far as you can. Once at the top, spread your laces out to minimize any extra space that's left over, and tie an overhand knot tightly to anchor them in place. This will help prevent what usually causes your laces to come undone at the source, so now, whenever you move around, they can move as much as they want to without pulling out the bow, while keeping it tied tight for as long as you need it to be. When you're all done, you can easily take your shoebies off by just pulling it away from the bow to create a little bit of space, then loosening the anchor knot by pulling hard on one of the laces. This will cause the anchoring knot to unravel, so it can easily be undone and you can slide your shoebies off. If you want to customize your laces with a charm of your choice, we can just repeat the process. The only difference is that you'll plug the back end of your charm into the hole in the top of your shoebies and squeeze until the two pieces are firmly joined together. After that, just like before, we can thread our laces through the eyelets, slide them up, and tie an anchoring knot. And from this point on, your shoes will stay tied for as long as you want them to, and you'll look great doing it. With that wrapped up, thank you so much for watching and learning along. For more information on shoebies, feel free to check out our official tutorial along with our website, which will be linked in the description.